this is a show about risk, and obviously you took an enormous amount of risk. I cannot imagine how that had to weigh on you. But how did you evaluate what risks were worth taking versus something that could blow your cover or endanger your life? Constant thinking, constant.
Yeah, just constant. Another thing too, you can't tell too many lies because you're going to get caught. So that's why, you try to stay as close to the truth as possible. Of course, your background, you try to stay close, to what you know. And again, a lot of times you just put it out of your mind. Once it's hard to explain, but it's just, to me, it was just a job. It was another form of conducting an investigation. And even once I got embedded with these guys, I mean, and I really I had no surveillance in New York. I was by myself, because, you're dealing in New York. It's hard to surveil. Now, I mean, I had surveillance a couple times when I knew I was going to be in a conversation that had to be recorded. So I wore a transmitter, so that it could be recorded. But probably 98% of the time I was out there by myself.
Do you think it would be harder to get away with that now with all of the information available?
Yeah.
On everybody, everywhere?
Yeah, it could be done, but the only thing that's changed about Undercover is exactly what you said, the internet. The internet. Somebody can type in Donnie Brasco and you got to come up with something. So it like back before the internet became really prevalent, because I was also in the unit that provided, once I got out of my undercover roles, that provided legends to agents. I mean, back then we can guarantee you like 98% that this thing is going to hold. In fact, we backstopped the guy from birth right through the day that he applied to a police academy to become a policeman, because we had information that a certain district in this one police department were ripping off people and robbing them and et cetera. So and this guy passed the background. Now it's tough. You can't provide that 98% because of the internet. So it's kind of hard as far as a foolproof legend. But back when I started,
pretty straightforward.
It was pretty straightforward. There were certain things like you never said you did time in the penitentiary because they could check that. I mean, that's easy, Well, where did you do time with? And you couldn't talk about doing time in the penitentiary, so you did 30 days in the county jail. I mean, that's what was on my record, 15 days in the county jail, and nobody could check that.
So along those lines, then, you comment about staying in your character and trying to stay truthful as much as possible. Can you describe a challenging moment where you had to stay in character despite intense pressure, or it was, where you're having to watch every word because you're kind of on the edge of that line?
Yeah, you have to, because there were several occasions. Like one occasion was, I don't know if you guys are old enough, but do you remember the app scam investigation where we had a big undercover operation going against politicians? And the FBI had a boat down in Fort Lauderdale, and they had taken the politicians out on this boat. And the boat captain actually was an FBI agent who had all this license, and he was. And so we used to go down to Florida a lot. When I say we, I'm talking about once I infiltrated these guys, the bad guys, and they liked to, go out fishing, So I made arrangements to go out in this abscam boat, which name of it was the Left Hand. And we go out. And first of all, I was told that the operation isn't going to surface. We're not going, we're going to go as long as we could go. Well, after about a month and a half, the press found out about the abscam operation, and they wouldn't hold the story. The Bureau went to them, and they wouldn't hold the story. And they even told them, look, we got other undercover operations so it came out, and the picture of the boat, I think it was on Newsweek, the magazine, Newsweek, that was, yeah. And I'm with one of the bad guys, who became my mafia partner, Ruggiero, and his name was Lefty. So we're on an airplane, and back then, they had magazines on the airplane. And he picks up this magazine and he sees the boat, and he said, "You recognize this boat?" I said, "No, I don't recognize the boat." And I said, "We were on that boat." I said, "No, we weren't. How could we be on that boat?" He said, "Donnie, don't tell me we weren't on that boat." He said, "What's the name of that boat?" And it says Left Hand. He said, "What's my name?" I said, Lefty. He said, "We were on that boat. How did you get us on that boat?" So I went into this whole story. I said, "Don't you remember we were in San Diego, and we were having dinner, and there was these two ladies having dinner at the next table, and you offered to buy their dinners, and we start talking to them, and the one says, 'Hey, you guys go to Miami at all?' And I went into the whole, yeah, we go down to Miami." And she says, "Well, my brother has a boat in Fort Lauderdale. If you guys ever want to go, here's his name and number. Call him, and just mention my name, and he'll take you out." He bought it, but but did he buy it 100%? Well, it went on for 4 more years, so I guess he did.
Wow.
I guess so. I guess you got it.
That's creative on the spot.
Yeah.